Hello and welcome everybody to Rage Oregon here. We have the Global Lab patch notes, January 2nd. Let's get right into it. We have the Rabams from Seraph being released. We got level 56 being shown here, Shift X. It looks to be a, 3,220 skill with a 50% crit hit rate. It does look to have super armor. Otherwise, a 33% modifier currently and a 30 on the other. The secondary one does seem to be sort of an extra split. So if you want to make use of the skill during Z-buff, you do need to pick the Splitting the Horizon or Brand Purification. It seems to be the same one from the logo. And then you have the different variation between her, Purification and Condemnation style, or Covenant and Condemnation style. The Condemnation does seem to have a significant higher damage with a crit rate being a lot higher. Both of them do still seem to be super armor, but overall it looks somewhat interesting with the split. Then we have a similar split on the level 56 one. So we have a forward dash and sort of push, looks like a knockback on a Shift Z, but it is unprotected. The other one as well, unprotected of like a forward dash doubles like down smash, looks like a knockdown, but no real protection shown. Overall, pretty risky. But it does have to have two variants. One again for the Covenant and the Condemnation variation. The Condemnation in this case getting a 5,000 first hit and then another 14,320, while the Covenant one seems to have a 13,500. Both of them 30% modifier again. That is a bit surprising. I mean, normally this is forward guard, but I'm not. Oh, wait, here I'm seeing a super armor. And on the Covenant, it's a forward guard going. A super armor going into a forward guard, it looks like. This one doesn't seem to show anything, but we're going to have to see what this is like on the actual patch notes. And then the level 58 is just more of a movement skill. Here we can see a sort of forward rushing stab and hit. There is a Covenant and Condemnation split for this one, and there is one for the other one as well, which is the focus, but that one seems to be unprotected at first glance. Then we have some other changes. We have the comb up and cut. They've added a 5, 10, or 20 damage reduction effect while using the skill, depending on the tier or level of the skill. They also improved to smoothly link with other skills while firing forward and left and right. So pretty much the dashing forward and left and right seems to link more smoothly. Then we have on the Condemnation side, the hidden enemy, the cancel activation to increase the activation speed when chaining after specific skills has been removed. Now it always activates at the same speed. They apparently improved the smoothly linking with hidden enemy skills while using Condemnation. The defense judgment has been changed from super armor while using the skill to a forward guard to super armor while using a skill, and the damage reduction effect increase. The damage reduction increase effect when using a skill has been removed of this one, but it has been added to the Condemnation, the hatred that bulges, and the Condemnation, the curse that pours. Then we also have the Condemnation, the hatred that burns. The defense judgment has also been changed from super armor while using a skill to a forward guard into a super armor while using a skill. And then we have a scattered violence. It's been changed so that the skill can be activated alone. Then we have some regular changes. Deadeye, they fixed an issue where stamina would recover for a certain amount of time when using the full pain skill to be left to the left twice in a row. And on Seraphim, there's another small issue. The issue where the activation speed of the upward sweeping technique would slow down when the skill level increased has been fixed. Then we have a small shift. The Olvia Academy and the Red Battlefield changes will be delayed. Olvia Academy was supposed to come out January 7th or 8th. This has been pushed back, so if you were waiting on that Pen Blackstar and the from what we saw in Calpheon Bowl, the stone to tap a Tet to Pen Blackstar, you will have to wait a little bit longer. It pretty much seems to be in line with the Alchemy Stone rework at the same time. So overall, a bit more patience is being asked for us. They do want to put out some updates on or details of the Red Battlefield improvements as soon as they are ready, but we're going to have to wait. Then the other big update that has been a bit contentious is the guild leader improvements. So the guild leader content has been changed to take place in guild-only subjugation areas. So you can enter the subjugation area from the guild leader subjugation window. Pretty much this is the same process as you use during Con. When the guild leader and authorized guild members enter the raid through the UI at the summoning location, a guild exclusive raid area is created. So overall, it means for every single boss, you're going to have to enter this new raid area. I mean, right now it looks more to be the new bosses, but I'm pretty sure the others will also be included in this. They just seem to be done already. So overall, this will slow down the process a little bit. When a guild member effectively has the authority to summon a leader, they can create the raid area. Only guild members belonging to the same guild can enter the subjugation, and the duration of the created guild area is 1 hour. After that, you'll be pushed out. There is some extra caveats, so they can be created by leader or authorized guild members, cannot be created on base, occupation, and archer servers. Entry is not possible when in forced attack state, so forced PvP mode. You cannot attack while in a forced attack state by hitting or killing another adventurer. However, entry is possible when your karma is below 0. So red players, for once, are thankfully not excluded. You cannot enter while in a duel, and entry is not possible while on a horse, and you cannot enter when a character is not on standby. And finally, entry into Olvia realm is also prohibited. Then we have a small change there. We're getting Proturum removed, and 2 new guild bosses are being introduced. This is Org and Morgulis. Morgulis seems to be near Stonetail Ranch, so effectively near Lava Cave, and the other one seems to be to the west of Glish, of actual Glish. So overall, we'll need to do a little bit of more traveling towards the east and west, but nothing too grand. There's also some other changes. Farid is getting adjusted. This is actually a bit weird. Farid, so it seems to be Farid and Mudster. They will have their health changed. So on extra large, large, medium, and small, they will have some reduction changes. So on extra large, 10% HP is reduced. Then 15% reduced on large, medium 18, small 22%. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the different levels, 0 to 3, but overall we'll get to the levels in just a moment for the rewards. The probability of obtaining items when defeating a guild leader has also been changed, or a guild boss. The probability of acquiring knowledge has been doubled compared to before. Also, the probability of obtaining modified items has been increased by 2 to 3 times. So the Rebellious Spirit Crystal, Black Crystal, Awakened Spirit Crystal, Volterra has been increased. And generally, the probability of acquisition increased depending on difficulty. So this is now a sort of more confirmation that if you do a level 3 boss, it might take you longer, but the probability should be increased, at least on paper. Talking about the rewards, we have some changes. So overall, we have Con being shown here with the before change, after change. Nothing crazy is being changed, except for maybe you get 2 Lightstones, which is effectively very heavy RNG. In the case of Con, you're also going to get 150 to 200 Blackstones of the Wave. Also an increase in the gold bar amounts, also the tendons, scales, and 2 to 3 black magic, or black concentrated magic crystals. Those, I always stumble over those. But there is the little caveat: the amount obtained increases depending on the difficulty level. This includes the, title stones, the 100G gold bar, the 10G gold bar, the con tendons, and con scales. So what we have to assume that if you do level 0, you'll get 150, while if you do level 3, you'll get 200. So there is an incentive to do the higher difficulty boss. The same thing is true for Farid, Mudster, Org, and Morgulis, all being new. Overall, the rewards remain pretty much the same. There is an increase on the Valk's Advice going from 30 to 50, being changed from 50 to 100. Then we also have the Shining Fire Earth Stones being given out twice, and then the increase on the gold bars. Overall, I calculated it out. So if you combine all the gold bars for all the bosses in one day, the 10G gold bars at level 3 will give you around 250 million. The 100G should end up being 1.5 billion, pretty much matching the current money gained. And then you get another 1 billion from the 1kg. So it's about 2.75 bill. for doing the bosses as a guild. In conjunction with the Failstacks, it can be a little bit nice. Overall, it's going to be worthwhile doing the tier 3, but I do feel it could have been a little bit more considering the removal of mercs. Overall, if you're going to be struggling with this, I do suggest maybe considering a merger with other small guilds. I'm pretty sure there's going to be other small guilds looking out there for new members, and maybe you can find a nice guild to merge with and do these together. There is another small bonus. So as the boss rewards are being reorganized, they plan to meet the summoning conditions so that all guild bosses can be summoned immediately during the maintenance on January 7th and 8th. So if you generally run your bosses later in the week, it could be worthwhile to run them one more time just before, maybe with mercs, just to get them done, and then you get the free reset on patch day, which just means a few extra rewards for your guild members. It can be a smart thing. Talking about guild members, the family reputation is also being adjusted now. So here we have the combat fame before change, ending up at 6,001, being capped at 12.6 million. This is now being adjusted. The 12.6 million is going to already be reached if you're at the 901 to 1,500 range. Now the range is also going all the way up to 19,501 with 97 million. Now, the points per character level is remaining the same as before, with characters 56 and above receiving double points, and above 60 receiving 5 times the points. However, with these changes, reaching this higher combat level is definitely going to be very difficult in its current state. Most people will probably be hovering around the 45-40 mil range, maybe 37. Overall, from our guild at least, we can definitely say most people will be around this range, but even so, you will be making significantly more than we made before, almost double. Similar thing happening in the life reputation or life fame. The points per level from expert to guru, pretty much ending up at 243 points, and then the points beyond that. Not much changes happening there. Difference again, 901 at 2.7 mil is the current state. This is already going to get passed immediately when you pass 300. So overall, you're looking at a nice increase here already. It significantly rises. I think most people with just like 6 guru skills in the mid-range should end up like myself around the 16-19 mil mark. Overall, a nice little increase. Nothing too crazy, but this is per day. Then we also have the special fame, which is combined from your CP and your knowledge, or your contribution and your knowledge. Overall, right now, 1,501 is very difficult to reach, and you got 2.7 mil out of it. That is already being passed the moment you pass 100 now. Overall, if we go by the old maximum, the new maximum will go from 2.7 to 31 million. Definitely a nice little increase. The brackets here don't have much room for growth, but I can tell you, growing beyond 1,501 is already very difficult. You're not going to gain too much extra as well, but it is a worthwhile goal. If you ever need help with this, pop by in the stream. I got some good suggestions to try to help you out with the special fame, especially concerning the knowledge aspect. Knowledge is not as difficult as most people put it. There's also been some massive improvements made from PA concerning that knowledge grind. So you should be able to do that, no problem. Also, a small little change, the maximum amount of family fame that can be obtained from the Black Spirit gift box has been changed from 1 billion silver to 10 billion silver. So it seems to be, in general, an increase there as well. Then we have a small surprising change, the Primordial Blackstone stacking. This is a bit of a surprise. Effectively, Primordial Blackstones can be taken from 25 to 170 pieces and be exchanged for stacks in the 110 to 200 range. It seems a bit lofty in the price, 170 of them for 200, considering that these do use, I believe it was Kaffir's. It seems a bit of a hit, but if you really need a 200, I think this could be a viable option. Description regarding the increased enhanced probability values have been added to the Blackstone, Crystallized Despair, and Primal Blackstone. Then we have some small changes on the monsters in the Black Shrine. The health and attack power of monsters appearing in C8, 9, and 10 have been adjusted. Mountain range, I believe, would be Sangoon. The life, HP has been reduced by 15%, and the attack power reduced by 10. Gumiho seems to have her HP reduced by 10% and attack power by 5. And then Bamboo Legion, Golden Peking, and I believe this is Apex Chenghui, have had their attack power reduced by 5% compared to before as well. Small change, background NPC and effects and cutscenes. Grey Beyonce, the alien priest who was located at Casta Farm, has been moved to the church inside Olvia Academy. Nothing too crazy. Then the big thing that I'm looking forward to, the Krogdalo's Nest has been improved to hold up to 5 horses, with no restrictions on the type of horse. The Nest UI in the Krogdalo has also been changed to improve to allow easier storage and removal of horses using number keys. So here you can see just right-click and then press a number to get the horse. Even if another character has the Dreamy horses in the Krogdalo's Nest, it is improved so you can now use the maid to bring the nest to your bag. There is a small caveat. When trying to grab the nest, the distance between the character holding it and the horse that is taken out will be affected. So if you happen to have a horn on that character, you can always check it in, while otherwise the horse must be within 500 or 150 of the character you're trying to get the Krogdalo Sanctuary from. That is a bit of a letdown, so best just to always get used to checking it in to make it easier for yourself. With this, however, we have a small adjustment on trading. So with this adjustment, horses will no longer be able to take trade items and treasure items. This is a bit of a letdown. There is a small note. Carriages, elephants, and donkeys will remain the same way as before, so they will be able to be used to overstack and then trade items still. There is another bonus that we're getting on this. The trade wagon transport cost has been reduced by 1/10, and the loadable weight has also been increased again, so overall we can move them a bit easier with the wagons, but we just need the elephant, donkey, or carriage to then actually sell to the trade manager. It's also been changed that trade good and treasure items can no longer be stored in the mount bag, pretty much what I just said. And here we have the cost of the trade wagons has been reduced by 1/10, and the load capacity has been doubled, so we have the actual number. The 1,500 load capacity when transporting benefit included in the Chemisovian buff remains the same as before. Then finally, they also improved so you can now release fish below a selected grade even during manual fishing. This is the same as the auto fishing pop-up, and items other than fish are obtained regardless of the grade. Then more already in the fixes and changes. Nothing too grand today. On Mystic, there was a standby issue on the Chungpak Almar, which can be registered on the exchange. On Seraphim, there was an issue with the Shroud Knight costume. Then they fixed an issue where heating a specific Pearl Life costume would result in obtaining an Ancient Spirit Crystal that was different from the item description. Then there was an issue with the description of preceding quests of the following quests was incorrect. This is for the weekly Pit of Undying quests. Then we have the issue where the unproceedable event quest was displayed when the intimacy conditions were displayed during conversations with Santo Mansi, Creo, and Bara. Then, during the Hikitsa Temple enemy attack quest cutscene, the combat section has been changed to not be included in the skip. The phenomenon of black crystal moving unnaturally when colliding with during the Serendia What Remains has been fixed. The awkward names of some NPCs in Velandir, I believe this has been fixed. They also fixed an issue where cooldown timers would not be displayed on the icon when using Crow's Trade Warrant item. Also fixed some issues where collectibles were disappeared from the Wolf Hill Stronghold. The text displayed when extracting an improved alchemy stone has been changed to the correct content. Description of purchasable item in the New Moon store contract and the Napart camping store items have been changed to show the corrected content. And there was an issue with a quest when your body relaxes, your mind relaxes, could not be completed if you had the knowledge of the Duvngrun hot springs already. Otherwise, TLDR, let's get right into it. The auto fishing reduction, I hope it works for harpooning. I really do. That would actually be nice. The trade wagon alleviation with the horse changes, I feel is definitely very helpful. Then we have the the fact that carriages, elephants, and donkeys still work is really great. The Krogdalo Sanctuary, needing the horn is a little bit of a letdown, but at the same time, it's kind of understandable. Just get used to checking it in. It's not going to be that much of an issue. The 110 to 200 stack, if you're really, really desperate, it is definitely a nice option. It could be a bit pricey, but probably cheaper than fail stacking on a Black Star, considering Black Stars are probably going to drop pretty hard. Then when the daily money change, it's nice to just see a bit of a appreciation for reaching these higher points, especially in the life going up significantly up in the later stages. Special fame, same as well for that mid-range being very much rewarded. Sure, towards the end it's a bit lackluster again, but better than before where it was 100 million. At least it's a few mil. Per day, this will definitely add up. Most people will probably see around a 75 mil per day. That should cover most of your well travels from Magnus, and overall just be a nice quality of life. Then the bosses, I was hoping for a bit more money increase. I mean, sure, 2.75 bill is nothing too bad for a new player or mid-game player. That is a lot of money. For a older player, 2.75 seems a bit lackluster again, considering the removal of mercs. But I do feel like maybe if they adjusted one more time later down the road, I can definitely see it be a little bit more worthwhile. At the same time, 2.75 mil is also nothing to scoff at. The entrance into the sort of realm that will slow things down a little bit, that is a bit of a letdown, but at the same time, it shouldn't be too bad considering it's 5 bosses where you do this then. Not a big thing. The Olvia Academy being pushed back makes me a little bit sad, but ain't nothing we can do there. At least they're being straightforward with their dates. And then finally, the Rabams from Seraph. Some of them seem a bit powerful. I mean, 14,000 damage is a lot, but especially at 30% damage applied. At the same time, these numbers could obviously change. Hopefully it helps her. I know a few people like Seraph. We're going to have to see how that goes. And with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck in BDO, no matter what you do, and I will see you around.